Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk to you about my regrets. I do have a few of them, so if you're interested in hearing all about that, please keep on watching. All right, so I have been stewing on this for a while now, but there are some things that I hope you can take from what I have to say and incorporate them in your own homeschool, because I do have regrets in how I did do some things. So let's just get into it and go straight at number one, which is not doing fun things. Big regret here. When we started homeschooling, I jumped in full course with thinking I had to compete with the public school system. I needed her to do reading and math and hardcore, and it did pay off, not gonna lie. She's very good with reading and on par with math, but I wish that we would have done more hands-on things and fun experiments and stuff like that. And now, frankly, when I mention that we're going to do them, she doesn't really necessarily believe that it's going to happen. Because I'm very much like I don't want mess. And so anything that remotely came close to that, I was like, oh boy, like, yeah, we'll do that. And then like it not happen because it brought anxiety in me. Fully regret not just taking in account that like those things will also be super learning pathways for her, and we didn't do enough of them. So whenever you can do the fun thing, do the fun activity, do the fun mess, do it. You won't regret it, other than the amount of time it takes you to clean it up, but you won't regret what it's done for your child in that moment. Not only is it a bonding moment likely between you and your child, but it's just fun and it's not so serious. So do the fun thing. Another one is asking her opinion on things at first. So when I would sit here and I would plan and I would figure out what our year is going to look like, I was taking into account to what I thought she would like, which is, you know, common for parents. I think we all think what our children are going to like and tend to go towards that. But I didn't ask, and like, how silly of like me to think that like maybe she had an opinion. So I think if I would have asked, we would not have gone to the point we're at now, where we're scrambling on what to do, because things didn't work out any longer for us curriculum wise. And I feel like if I were to have asked her more about her opinion, or like what maybe she in her brain had an idea of what she thought she could do or wanted to do, I could have been better about researching and finding if there's something out there like that. I have always allowed her to be interest led to a point, because I always, in the back of my mind, I'm going reading math. So that was actually I think that was one of my goals for this year, was to be more in tune to her interests and go from there. And I think we've done a really good job at that this year. So yeah, ask your kids their opinions. You may not use that as your final decision, but at least in the back of your mind, you're hearing what they have to say. And to them, that's super important. And it might seem silly, but it's not. And as they get older, they're going to have opinions on things. And I'm thinking my child is still little, and she's not. She's a big kid now. And so I need to start taking that into account for what I am planning out. If she's really not digging something and it's beyond like surface level, on why she's not, then like we can always change things around. There are tons of resources out there. Next up is buying too much stuff. I will never forget our first year. I have pictures. If I find them, I'll insert some here. But when I tell you that I would go to Target Dollar Spot, and I would go to the dollar store and Walmart and Lakeshore Learning, I'm almost embarrassed to show you pictures of how much stuff I bought, because I thought I needed all of this stuff. I thought I needed my bookshelves to be full. I thought I needed all the manipulatives. I thought I needed like everything you see around me. I thought I needed. And I've gotten rid of a lot. I never take books off my bookcase because the curriculum that I purchased, we didn't need it. So I never thought, well, let me go grab that book behind me and we can look through it and learn something out of it. Well, why? When they have this open and go curriculum and then we're done. Lesson learned. You do not need, actually I did a video on this. You do not need to spend hundreds or thousands of dollars to get your homeschool going. No way, no how. You need maybe 3 things. And I think I put that in my video, so I will try to link the video up here. A pencil. A dry erase pocket sleeve. You can get these from Dollar Tree, most, but they're everywhere. Some pens, some crayons. A printer's helpful, but not necessary. Some glue. Scissors. That's it. So don't be like me and buy the entire store or section in the teaching department because it's not necessary. If you have in your brain an idea, great, shoot for it. Go there and buy for that idea. But you still don't need to go overboard. I bought too much stuff and I spent lots of money that I'm not going to get back. Don't be like me. I still have kindergarten stuff behind me right now that I could probably pull and get rid of, but because I spent all that money, I have it in my head that I can't get rid of it because it needs to be used before I get rid of it. So that's a me problem for sure, but don't be like me. Anyways, last but definitely not least, I do have way more regrets that I probably have that I just can't come up with offhand, but we tend to quit things too soon. I'm not giving them enough time because I don't do that. She doesn't give things enough time. So when she doesn't want to do something, it's like a hard no. Or if I don't want to do something, it's like the procrastination becomes like a no. Kind of like not doing the fun things. I'd procrastinate until eventually I'm like, yeah, we're just not going to do that. I have stuff sitting right in front of my face that I intended to do a month ago and we still have yet to do it. So I tend to quit things before we give them a chance. And I've done that with some curriculum in the past. I know when we tried out, Masterbooks is a great example. I didn't like it. I didn't like how it was laid out. I didn't like that it was kind of boring, or how she didn't really seem that interested in it yet. But we never finished a unit. And like, I feel like if I maybe pushed us beyond the uncomfortable part about it, that it could have been maybe beneficial for us. But we'll never know that now because the book's gone. But I tend to give up really fast because I'm impatient. And she tends to give up the same way because she's impatient. So now, you know, we're not 100% with the curriculum that we're doing now, but I really want us to give it a chance before I make a decision, because we're also learning new routines and being flexible in places we didn't have to be flexible before. And so there is more planning on my end. There is more to do for her than she's been doing in the past. So naturally, that's going to come as a learning curve. Like, she's going to have to learn how to adapt to this different curriculum, as will I. So we're not going to quit anything instantaneously. We are going to at least follow through one unit of it, of all things, or a pretty good chunk of the way through before we make any final decisions. So my advice to you, don't quit things too soon. Everything you don't learn about a country in a day. It's just not practical. You can learn 5 things about a country in a day, but not the whole thing. And that you can take that piece of advice into everything you do with homeschool. Just my 2 cents. I'll throw in a last one just because it came to me, but I regret not joining or being a part of more groups sooner. I am an extrovert in an introverted body, if that makes sense. I'm a people person. I love to be around other people, but I also love to be at home. I get very nervous in settings that push me out of my comfort zone, like going to a ginormous random homeschool group meetup. I just am. So I wouldn't do it. And I knew that that was hurting her in a way. Not that she knew what to look forward to or anything, because I wouldn't tell her about these things, but I wasn't letting her down. But in my mind I was, because I knew that it would be beneficial for her, especially being an only child. I wish I would have been involved at an earlier age. Now granted, COVID and everything else, so like clearly that was not the case. Like, we couldn't always be involved in large groups from the start. But as things started to open up, and like, I was reluctant, yes. I hesitated because those things made me nervous, and I wish we would have done it sooner. And now we're in a co-op, and that I wish we would have joined earlier, and we're in all these different homeschool groups, and she has friends from, you know, every which place, and like, that just makes her day to see those people, and it makes my day to see my friends too. So I wish we would have done that sooner. But there's one thing I'm going to tell you out of regrets that I'm going to tell you I didn't regret, and that is for sure homeschooling. I don't regret it one bit. Do not regret it one bit. It has been the biggest struggle yet rewarding thing we've done ever in my life and in her little life. It's brought us a bond. It's brought us connection. It's brought us family time. It's brought us community. It's just opened everything. And so that's one thing I don't regret. But all the other things I do regret doing. So learn from me. Anyways, this is my regrets, and I'm sure you have some, and I'd love to hear some in the comments, and maybe we can all boost each other up. So, yep, I'll see you in my next video. Bye.